I know what Cody Rhodes is missing. And for me, usually it's common sense. I don't know why I haven't put it to video yet. And I'm sure that to you, it's common sense as well. We're going to talk about it. But first, I want to salute everybody here who has been putting in the work with me, grinding out, watching these videos with me, man. We are so close to 500 subscribers by the end of February. I didn't think that we would turn it up the way that we have, but I am definitely appreciative that we have done it. We're really close, and I think that by the end of the day, we might be there, which has us 4 days ahead of schedule. So applaud yourselves for that, and I gotta applaud myself for actually staying committed for once.
Still to be happy about.
You're up 2-0.
Job's not finished. Job finished? I don't think so.
All right, we got to talk about Cody and what it is that he needs to be a better champion. So I guess now we got to lock in. It's not every day you're going to hear me saying positive things about Cody. And right now I'm freestyling this video. I have no notes. It's just going to come right from the dome. I don't know if I am going to say anything about, you know what? I'll say something positive about Cody. Give me a uno momento. Cody, he has the look of someone that can be a good champion. There we go. Something positive about Cody. However, part of the reason, and I'll say a big reason as to why Cody has not been an interesting character as a champion, well, there's a few reasons, but I'll say that the biggest reason is he hasn't had an adversary. He hasn't had his Magneto. This is something that's out of Cody's control. Roman Reigns, you know, because of contracts and how they are and how they work out and that whole thing, Roman Reigns just isn't there enough to be Cody's adversary. Let's think back. You had Ric Flair and Dusty. You had Hogan and Macho Man. You had Austin and The Rock. You had Undertaker. You had Kane. You had Shawn Michaels, you had Bret Hart. And now we have a situation in which we could have Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. And one guy just isn't available enough for us to build the hype of the company for. But let's think about it. I'm not under the impression that if Roman was available for more dates, that they would even go in that direction. You see, when Roman is there, they kind of now just have Roman just being around. You know, he's feuding with the other side of the bloodline. And outside of that, he hasn't done anything. He's one of his Follow back. He hasn't cut any real promos. He hasn't really done anything, which goes strangely into the whole thing of WWE nerfing Roman Reigns. But I digress. Cody not having a villain to the level of which he is a babyface is hurting him. Because now you just have nonsensical feuds. You don't have a heel that's in the background that's just tearing through everything at the same pace that Cody is tearing through everything. And then they meet up, right? You don't have them when they see each other, it's on site, or they're always throwing hands, even though they don't have a scheduled or anything like that. They're always at odds. They don't seem to have that. And that doesn't help Cody because there's no one else on their level. Now, that right there is a booking problem. We're going to put that on H and creative and whoever has the book back there because they had the same problem when Roman was champion. They're not building anyone to raise to that level. They did have it while Roman was champion with Drew. And we all remember how making Drew a viable contender for Roman Reigns, they made him second fiddle. They went as far as having Roman tell him that he's second fiddle, and Drew couldn't do anything about it. See, they could have built a feud there that could have lasted and stand the test of time, but they just beat him and moved on about their business. Drew was a very credible champion. He was somebody who you could have put the company on his back when Roman wasn't there. Just like Roman said, hey, Roman's not around or Roman doesn't want to do it. We got Drew. And that could have worked. But they didn't, for some reason, put the investment into Drew. I don't know what they got against Drew. Like, time keeps going on and Drew's not getting any younger. His hairline's going back even further. And they still just won't put the investment in the guy. Maybe they will in the future and then he'll have a payoff and then that's it. See, that's the thing right there. Wrestlers today seem to be happy with just having that one big moment and then going back into obscurity. And that's a problem. People need to want to be at the top and it be evergreen. Roman wanted to be at the top and have an evergreen career. So now when you think of Roman, you think of the top guy. It's the same thing with Cody. Cody wanted to be at the top and he wanted it to be evergreen. And they're doing that with him. The problem is they're not doing anything memorable with Cody Rhodes. It's been a year. We don't have anything that we could go back on. Hey, you remember that moment? You remember that moment? The moment that I remember of Cody, well, it wasn't even when he was champion. I was going to say when him and Jey Uso was having drinks and they had the post-match interview and, Jey was drunk. But that wasn't during the championship run. So during Cody's championship run, what did he do that was memorable outside of beating Kevin Owens in a ladder match and posing while Kevin Owens was bleeding? You don't remember anything. But if we say that same thing for Roman, we could just list them off. Now, I'm not saying that as a slight to Cody. That's a problem with booking. They're not making stars. And when they do make a star, it seems as though they can't make more than one star at a time. They'll diminish someone else's star or stardom in order to try to help someone else get over instead of bringing someone up to that star's level. Okay, let's add names to it. They'll diminish a Roman Reigns' star power instead of bringing up other people to his level. You had years to do this. You had a Drew McIntyre and they fodderized him. You had a Seth Rollins, who's always going to be seen at the level of a Roman Reigns in Roman Reigns' eyes. But to everybody watching, we see it differently. But the storyline tells you Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns should be at the same level because that's how Roman sees him. See, Roman has an adversary in Seth Rollins. But for some reason, we're never going to get that payoff. Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns by now should have had 2, if not 3 WrestleMania main event matches. And we've gotten none, but outside of the cash-in when it was Roman against Brock, but I digress. That's not them headlining a WrestleMania. So now we have a chance once again in which in WWE's eyes, Cody Rhodes is at the level, if not higher, again, at WWE's eyes, if not higher than a Roman Reigns at the current juncture. And we're not capitalizing on that. Now, granted, you can say, well, we just got them in back-to-back main events at WrestleMania. Cool. But that was for Dusty. At some point, we have to start unraveling Cody's character. And when we unravel Cody's character and we see what makes him tick now and who it is that he's developing to be, now we match that character up with the character of Roman Reigns, whose character we already know of, and we have those two meshed together, then we have magic. For those past 2 WrestleManias, Roman wasn't wrestling Cody Rhodes. He was wrestling Dusty Rhodes. So now that we can get a Cody, the adversary of Roman Reigns should always be looming to him. Not saying that they have to wrestle at main events of WrestleMania, but they need to still be just there. But at the moment, it seems like their story is over. When we had Rock in Austin, it was never over until Austin retired. And that went on for years and years. It wasn't over until a dude said, all right, Joe, I'm out. That's how it should go. Same thing with Bret and Austin. It wasn't over until Bret left. Same thing with Macho Man and Hogan. It wasn't over until Macho Man went to the announce booth. Same thing with Undertaker and Kane. It wasn't over until, till they was too damn old. Dusty and Flair, it wasn't over until they just went their separate ways in different companies. You get where I'm going with this. Just because a match is won doesn't mean our feud ends. But to WWE, it seems that way. Now, you can't build an adversarial feud with Cody and The Rock. Sure, it's a final boss, but it underlines Roman. And I'm not saying this to be like, the Roman shield or the Roman kiss ass. No, I'm saying if you present them, if they're at the same level in fans' eyes and in WWE's eyes, if they're at the same level, then they need to represent it that they are, and they need to always be adversaries. I wasn't against the tag team match that they had where they joined forces, because it was kicking and screaming. It was begrudgingly. Well, at least it was supposed to be. There was times where Austin and The Rock joined forces. There was times when Austin and Triple H joined forces. Times where The Rock and Triple H joined forces. These things happen. But once the deed is done, hey, we got to throw hands. Cody Rhodes needs Roman Reigns. Roman doesn't need Cody, but Cody needs Roman Reigns. And without him, he just feels stale. And I think that that's what's missing. So now it's time to sign off. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. Give me your thoughts down in the comment section below. We're definitely still on the road to 500 subscribers by the end of the month. And I don't want to take for granted the road that we're on, but it's looking real good that we're going to get there. I'll see you guys in the next video.